All right. What's going on? Let me get comfortable. A lot going on. Huh. And what's up? What's up? So there's a lot that has been going on regarding YouTube right now. For those unaware, YouTube made some changes that essentially doubled the requirements for new creators to get monetized. This is a very I have I have so many thoughts on this, but I do want to play a video first for those of you to kind of catch you up. Um, it's a video that YouTube has posted a couple of hours ago, and I think that it's very important for people to kind of understand. Now, I understand I'm not a blip on many people's radar, so I'm probably not going to get many people to watch this live anyway. So I'm going to look forward to see how this does after the live, because I think that this is a very significant thing if you are a YouTube creator or if you are considering becoming one. Uh, I do, like I said, I have a lot of thoughts regarding it, but I think the best thing to do is to just simply play this particular video, just so that people can kind of understand and get caught up. So people can't say I'm making things up, out of my own ass or whatever. So I'm gonna go to YouTube right quick, and so let me go to my history. And so it's this guy right here. I might play the other video, but it's only less than 5 minutes. So hopefully if you guys don't have TikTok brain, hopefully this will, you won't bail.
I'm Rene Ritchie, your Creator Insider.
My name is Amjad Hanif, and I lead the creator product team at YouTube.
Thank you so much for joining us. We've announced a few updates for the YouTube Partner Program. What is changing for creators and our channels?
There's a few changes that most creators should be aware of. The biggest changes are on what it takes to earn from ads rev share. It used to be about 4,000 hours in order to qualify for long form, and now it's going to be 8,000. On the short side, it used to be 10 million views in 90 days, and now it's going to be 20 million views in 90 days. Additionally, in order to earn Shorts rev share in the upcoming month, you'll have to have had 10 million views over the last 90 days. And these are just adjustments based on the amazing growth of the creator ecosystem over the last several years.
And some things aren't changing, right?
Yeah, if you are in YPP today, you stay in YPP. What also isn't changing is the first level of YPP, which we introduced a few years back called the fan funding tier. That still takes 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours or 3 million views in the last 90 days.
So let's dive into that a little bit. Why was it necessary to change the thresholds for watch time hours and shorts views?
YPP stands apart in the entire creator ecosystem. And I think it's because of one central element, which is we succeed as a company when creators succeed. And that's been part of the ethos of the program since the first year, 20 years ago, till today. And all these changes we've announced just reflect the reality of an ecosystem that has grown so much. And when you think about it, the kinds of content, the way you consume that content, the formats have all changed exponentially over the last several years. And so we want to make sure that the earnings you get from the program are meaningful and allow you to reinvest in your channel. And all of these changes, when you step back, we still expect to pay more out next year to creators than we will this year.
For a lot of people, when you ask them like what they want, what their dream is, it's to be monetized on YouTube, it's to get into YPP, and hope is such a powerful force. How are you thinking about that when you're making these changes?
Yeah, look, it's front and center in our thinking. It is the place where creators across the globe come to earn and build their business. And we've been excited and proud of the fact that there's over 3 million creators that are part of the program. So the one thing that didn't change is what it takes to join YPP. It still takes 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours or 3 million views in the last 90 days. And that is a way to think of us reaffirming our commitment to making it a place for creators to start their business.
Another big change is that now there is a minimum threshold to maintain revenue share for shorts. You have to get 10 million views every 90 days. Why make that change, and why 10 million?
It goes back to one of the central principles around these adjustments is we want to make sure that the earnings you get from YPP are meaningful, that allow you to invest and build your business. And we had a case where if you had only a few thousand views, you might have a few cents for that month. And instead, we'd like to design the program in a way where it rewards creators who are leaned in, who are driving views and engagement.
And what are you going to do then for creators who you still want to encourage them to make shorts, but they're not hitting that 10 million threshold?
Absolutely. So as a part of this, we've also introduced some incentive funds. And so we've actually quietly been testing that over the course of the past year. And that's going to give us a way to target money to creators who are at much earlier stages of their career to give them the boost they need in order to make it to the next level. A simple incentive might be to continue uploading over the next 90 days and earn a bonus for that. If you've tagged a few items in shopping, we may give you a bonus to tag a few more items in shopping. If you've been able to secure brand deals, you may get a bonus for that. And it'll allow us to be much more targeted for creators at those early stages to help them earn to get to that next level.
The creator economy is bigger than ever. YouTube is doing better than ever. Why aren't we lowering the thresholds for YPP? Why are we instead increasing them?
That's a really good question. You could lower the thresholds and you'd have creators who are in the program but not actually earning anything meaningful. There is no program like YPP across the creator ecosystem. And we take that responsibility very seriously as stewards of the creator economy, as the original home for creators, to make a program where creators can understand what it takes to be part of it, can earn based on how well they build an audience. And that's really in the back of our mind with all the changes we make for the program. We want you to be able to earn and build a business and grow from a business where you're just running your channel to one where you can take advantage of brand deals, you can sell memberships, you can earn from fans directly. And you think of all the ways you can earn as a part of the YPP program. There's no other place you can do that today.
Amjad, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this. I would love to sit down with you again next year and see where we've gotten.
Great. Looking forward to it, Renee.
And you all know what to do. Jump into the comments, leave your questions.
So, okay. I want to be very honest on this. This is going to be very, very brutal for the very few that do not have TikTok brain. And I want to do something that many people that I've seen don't do, and that's be very honest and transparent. What you just heard, the few of you that have heard this exchange, the video I just played, is a classic example of corpo speak. I want to say that again. What you just watched, if you were here, that video I just played for 5 minutes, that is a clear, concise example of corpo speak at a very high level. This guy that represents YouTube, he gave an answer without giving an answer. These are tactics that high-level executives, politicians, and people that breathe that air, that's where they live. That's where they live. That is who they are at their core. They are well trained in front of the camera. A lot of times when they sit down for interviews like these, it's heavily curated, softball questions. The interviewer is not pushing back. They're not being very definitive in their stance. They are the purpose of those types of interviews in business is to give the illusion that you as the viewer, because many of you guys don't really understand business. I mean, I'm just going to be perfectly honest. It gives you guys this idea that these high-level people at the highest level, that they give two shits about you. And you think that they're giving you something when they're really not. So let me give you a bit of stats. And I will get out of the bed and alter the computer, and because there's a couple of articles I wanted to go through. But what I do know is as of I think late 2025, there is about 115 million YouTube channels out there. I'm pretty sure it's higher now. Do you know how many of those 115 million channels are actually monetized? For the sake of a lot of guesses, 3 million. I'm going to say that again. Out of 115 million YouTube channels on this platform, only 3 million are monetized. I want you to think of that. See, the thing is, what I do on my channel, I'm very direct and I'm very definitive, and people tend to not like that because they don't want to, they get in their feelings. I am just trying to share what is versus what is not. So again, only 3 million YouTube channels have been monetized in the year of 2025. So sure, that number may have been bumped up a little bit. Now, prior, because these changes go into effect February of 2027. So pretty much you have about 6 or so months left in this month, in this year going into 2027, if you have the intention on having a fair shake at getting a channel monetized. Because I can tell you right now, trying to get 8,000, again, 8,000 hours of public watch time for your channel to get monetized is going to be damn near impossible. I'm here to tell you the brutal, honest truth. I'm one of those creators that I got monetized on YouTube inside of 9 months. 9 months. 9 months. I bust my fucking ass every day. Every day. Ideation, planning, recording, editing, hours of editing. And over the course of 9 months, I finally got monetized on YouTube. Now, YouTube is doubling that number. So unless you are 100% lucky, or you are like a famous athlete, or you're just a famous individual, you are going to take well over a year, maybe 2 or more, to get monetized on YouTube. I want people to understand this. Because I was originally just going to do a video for this, but I was like, let me just go live, because at least I know the live notification might get this to some people, maybe even some new people. So I'm not going to go back and forth with people in the chat at this moment, because there's a lot that I want to get off my chest, because that's really the whole point. So when you really factor in what that guy said, to paraphrase it, YouTube on the business side looks at creators as some sort of a symbiotic relationship. For you comic book nerds out there, Eddie Brock and Venom, right? They have a symbiotic relationship, okay? But what is really happening is it is parasitic. What many people may not be aware, and maybe some of you are aware of this, back in 2000, I can't recall the exact month, but I do have the article, so I will be getting to the articles later on in this stream, but I'm just, I just want to get this information out right quick. In early 2000, YouTube decided to put ads, on non-monetized videos. Why do you think they did that? So to really break this down for some of you, that would mean that as you are early in your content creation journey and you have the goals and aspirations and dreams to be in that rare air of a YouTube content creator where you're making a little bit of money on your videos, well, YouTube is like, you know something? Since we know that we stack the deck against you as a creator, because now you have to get 4,000 hours of public watch time in hours. So while you're busting your fucking ass on a hamster wheel, pumping out video after video, we're going to run ads on your video regardless. And we're not going to give you a red cent. So going back to the statistics that I just stated, that in 2025, there were over 115 million YouTube channels and only 3 million of them got monetized. So if you take 3 million from 115, that's 112, right? So that means that 112 million YouTube channels of people that are pumping out various amounts of YouTube videos over the course of months and years, people that are not getting anything really from it, YouTube is still placing ads on every single one of those videos. Now, what do you think happens to YouTube when you as a creator become monetized? Now YouTube has to share a portion of that money with you. Do you really fucking think they want to do that? No, they do not. I am here to tell you the 100 billion% God's honest truth. Let me tell you another truth for some of you that still are here. What YouTube really wants to do, let me sit up for a minute because I want this to be clear. YouTube, they want to remove and eliminate the YouTube Partner Program. That's what they want to do. They don't want to keep this around, but they know if they do that, they are going to piss off a lot of people that are at the higher levels of content creation. So when you take a look at somebody like Asmongold, who has well over 4 million subscribers, Penguin Zero, 15 million subscribers. Penguin Zero, for instance, or Moist Critical as he is known by other people, he has roughly the same or more total subscribers on his YouTube channel than the entire channel of Sony PlayStation. Let that set in for a minute. Some of these content creators, they have more of a subscriber base than legitimate companies. So YouTube doesn't want to rock the boat when it comes to those people, but to low-level nobodies like myself, which make up the vast majority of those channels that are monetized, they don't care about us. Or I'll just say me, for instance. They don't care. And as I was killing myself, figuratively speaking, over the course of 9 months back in 2024, when I first uploaded my first video to this channel, August 23rd of 2024, and then going on into 2025, where I finally got monetized, I think somewhere between March and April of 2025, again, I bust my ass. Like, I really worked my ass off. And even with me doing that, was I raking in the dough? No. I didn't even get a YouTube payout until, 3 months after? Because my videos were just they weren't cutting it for whatever reason. You can argue whatever the reason is. And my situation is indicative of many other people's on this platform. This is not my opinion. This is a 1 billion% fact. There are very few people on this platform as a YouTuber that actually makes it. And when they do make it, they hire entire teams to do various shit on their behalf. So when you are a creator at my level, you are doing every fucking thing. And you are very lucky if you even get a video that goes over 100 views. That's just what it is. And since the way YouTube works, you get a set amount of money for every 1,000 views. That is what they call cost per milli. I don't know why they call it that, but that's what it is. So for instance, if you make a particular video, just to kind of give you an idea of how this whole thing works, and after 1,000 views, you are entitled to $10 of that. However, there's another metric, and I'm probably forgetting it. It might have been cost per milli, but there's two numbers. There's the number that the advertisers get, and there's a number that you as a creator gets. As a creator, you are essentially getting the scraps that's left over. And especially if you are a video game content creator, you are basically almost at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to YouTube. Because the type of videos or your niche greatly determines the amount of money from ads you are going to get. So for instance, if you are somebody that is making finance content, real estate, travel vlogs, education content, you're get a luxury type of stuff, you're getting a lot more money in your ad revenue disbursements than you would if you're a video game creator. That's not my opinion. That's a fact that you can look that up for yourself if you don't believe me. The only reason why video game YouTubers get any significant money, and you're going to hear it here first, is because of channel memberships. That's you guys that subscribe to your favorite YouTuber for whatever amount of money. You know, for instance, I think I'm at $2, $5, and $10, but different creators, they have different tiers for channel memberships. So that's number one. Number two, which is where the majority of a person's money will come from, is brand deals. If you are working with Namco, for instance, or any other video game publisher or developer, you are getting a decent amount of money for that. You can get the potential for earning is very high for that. But if you are relying solely on ad revenue, you are shit out of luck. Unless your YouTube videos are having thousands of views per upload, you are making nothing, really. Don't quit your day job. Let's put it that way. Because in order for you to even get money on YouTube, you have to meet $100 in a calendar month. Of course, that all of that is included with your super chats, channel memberships, super thanks, ad revenue and everything. All of that contributes to that total base amount of money. And once you hit that $100, YouTube will issue you a direct deposit on the 21st through to the 25th of the following month. That is how this works. So if you don't have ad revenue coming in, you are 100% dependent on, outside of brand deals, the generosity of others. Fan funding, as it were. So in that video that I shared, where when they added the fan funding options for 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of total watch time, At that point, you are able to have channel memberships, super chats, super thanks. I think the stickers or whatever. You can do that. What some other creators do, they will create something called a Patreon, which I have a Patreon. I just don't really use it. But Patreon, from what I understand, if somebody donates to that, I think you get 100% or a very high percentage of that donation. Whereas on YouTube, if, for instance, if I get a super chat from anybody, I believe YouTube takes 50% of that, or 45. It's a high percentage. And I know on channel memberships, YouTube takes 30%, which is the reason why, for those of you, if you ever looked at my channel memberships, you notice my lowest tier is $2 whopping per month. The reason why I didn't choose 99 cents is because I knew YouTube charges 30%, which would basically leave me with less than $1 for somebody who's joining the lowest tier. So at least if somebody joins at the $2 tier, for instance, I'm getting at least $1.30 at the bare minimum. And my thought process is if everyone does a little, no one has to do a lot. So there's that. Now, when it comes to understanding the whole YouTube, what this company is doing to new creators, especially those that are on the path to monetization for 2027 in February, that means that you are going to have to absolutely, figuratively kill yourself in creating content just so that you can reach the new threshold of 8,000 hours of watch time. This is why I use myself as an example, because I'm very, very low level when it comes to my positioning in this platform. It took me 9 whole months to get monetized on this platform, and that was only at 4,000 hours of watch time. And I was literally uploading, I would say, almost every day, if I had to be honest. I think there were a few times I did take a break. I am human, I'm not a robot, but I was really on my grind, and it still took me 9 months. I only went viral on my way to monetization. I went viral, or at least viral for myself, 2 or 3 times. And that was from a very old Dragon Age the Veilguard video, and a video I had done on Assassin's Creed Shadows when those 2 games were at the height of their controversy. I had, for instance, Dragon Age the Veilguard gave me my very first video that I went over 1,000 views. And at the time, I had somewhere around, I think I had less than 100 subscribers at the time. So that was a bit of virality there. So now when you look at what YouTube is aiming to do with 8,000 public hours of watch time, YouTube is essentially saying, we don't want any more people in this exclusive club. However, we are not outright getting rid of it because we don't want the backlash, but we're going to make it so fucking difficult that it would take you a goddamn miracle for you to get into this exclusive club. That's what they are doing. It's not like they're giving you higher percentages. They're not doing shit. It's going to basically be the exact same percentage spreads, the same profit spread that I have in 2026 and other people have had in 2025, 24, 23, and so on. The only thing that's being changed is the admission. Because again, you have 115 million YouTube channels as of 2025, and only 3 of them were monetized. I mean, 3 million were monetized. And again, like I said, in 2020, YouTube decided to put ads on those non-monetized videos, which means you becoming monetized had no benefit. It served no purpose for YouTube for your channel to be monetized, because you're still pumping out content with the hopes of getting into this exclusive club. But while you are on that path, YouTube is still making money off of your hard work while giving you jack shit. That's the reality. That's what is. And so when you really look at it, if you're intelligent enough to read in between the lines, YouTube does not want those millions upon millions of YouTube channels to be monetized, because that would cut into their bottom line. This goes right in line with what I've been trying to tell gamers on my channel, the future of the gaming fucking industry. That gamers just they either don't understand or they don't want to accept the reality that the future of the gaming industry is AI, digital distribution, cloud, and subscription services. So, and the industry is going that direction because it makes them money. This is why I try to explain to people until I'm literally red in the face what things are versus what you think they are. These companies, every single one of them, they are not your friends. They are here to make money. They don't give a shit about physical games. They don't give a shit about whether or not you are monetized on YouTube. They don't care. You, as the very vocal minority, your voice, your presence means jack shit. Somebody has to fucking tell you. Somebody has to take the fucking kid gloves off. Somebody has to be, I guess, the proverbial villain and tell you what you have to hear. YouTube does not want the partner program, because they are getting money regardless. Advertisers are still paying YouTube, the company, to place and run ads on your videos, whether you are monetized or not. There is no upside to YouTube giving you a percentage, basically the scraps of the ad revenue. To juxtapose this for some of you in the gaming space, a gaming company, they are not getting benefited by having physical games on the fucking market. Companies have to spend money to do that. Whereas if you make your game digital, they ain't gotta pay shit. It's 100% profit. Like, I'm trying to I'm trying to explain this in a way that I hope that there are some people that can understand the similarities here. YouTube is getting paid from advertisers no matter what. Video game companies, manufacturers, developers, publishers, whatever the fuck you want to label it, they are losing money because they have to pay for distribution to have those physical discs show up on store shelves. When these companies look at the fucking data and they see over the course of 10 years that the vast majority of gamers have decided to sacrifice, or not even sacrifice, they've decided that convenience and speed of internet download matters more for them than ownership, they have decided to go the route of digital. I am now speaking about two different things. Try to follow me, because they do correlate in the sense of guiding these companies to make the decisions they make. That is what has been going on. What YouTube is doing by doubling the requirements of getting monetized, this is just their way, in a roundabout way, to basically say, we here at YouTube, we really don't want this YouTube partner program anymore, because we are getting money from advertisers no matter what. And us giving you the scraps that's left over from ad revenue as a content creator, we're tired of doing that. So we're just going to bump up the requirements. Do you not see the fucking similarities? If you don't, then I'm sorry. Everything is not for everybody's understanding, because I'm doing my best here. On the gaming front, video game companies, they recognize that the majority of gamers have decided to buy their games digital. They've decided to go into Netflix, buy Amazon Prime, go with Paramount Plus, all of these subscription services that essentially removes all forms of ownership. Do you understand? Is it now becoming clear? That's why these companies do this. Now, you can pump your fists, you can be rage, you can fucking curse me out in my stream, curse me out in my comment section. It doesn't matter what you people do. The fact of the matter is that these companies, they look at the actual data. That's what they do. And on YouTube side, they see clear as day in 2025, 115 million YouTube channels pump out content every single minute on the minute. And 112 million of them do it for fucking free. This is... So I'm just trying to... You know what? Let me put up the data right now, because I've been saying this. Let me just get out of the bed real quick, because I have to show this. Because I'm actually not. I actually don't feel very good right now, because I'm actually under the weather right now. I'm actually getting a little bit sick. But I wanted to do this live, and let me alter my fucking camera and all other shit. Let me see. All right. Let's add, hold on for a second. Window capture. Let me put that away. I think it's this, right? Yeah. Okay. So what you're seeing right now, I want you to also know that this article, all the articles, in fact, if you go to the description of this live stream, I have 3 links. This is one of the links. I want you to look at this. I'm going to read this. Actually, I don't feel like reading it, but you can look at this on screen as I blow my nose, and you can see these are the facts, people. This is not my opinion, because unlike a lot of creators, I try to be fact and data driven. As you can see, 150 million YouTube channels exist. And as I scroll on down, we have, let me see. Yeah. So there are 150 million YouTube channels, out of which 60 to 65 million channels are active, meaning they post videos at least once a month. This is very important to understand. In a report shared by YouTube CEO, he confirmed that there are 3 million channels that are monetized. Just 3. I want you to really, like, you have to understand this. So that means simple math. 3 minus, if you take 3 away from 115, that's 112. So only 112 billion, million channels are not monetized, and they're doing this for free. It's absolutely nonsense. Absolutely fucking nonsense. Look at this. The table includes details about the number of subscribers to YouTube channels in 2025. 15 plus have 100 million. So you look at 0 or more, not available for 100, but 1,000 or more, 10.35 million. Now these are stats by from 2025. This article right here, I want you to understand. This article I do have in my stream in the description. So if you go to the description of the stream and you scroll all the way down, you'll see this 3 links. So I don't feel like going through all of this, but you can look at this at your own leisure. So I'm going to move on to the next article, which is also a part of my description. This one here from searchenginejournal.com. Now this kind of goes in line with what I was saying earlier, that YouTube decided to put ads on non-monetized channels, and this is from 2020. Let me get rid of this ad. All right, so if we go here, let me see. Here we go. YouTube is adding a new section to its terms and service titled Right to Monetize, agreeing to the terms of service, which is mandatory. So basically, it's not even really a choice. It's either play by my rules or don't do it at all. Means agreeing to everything laid out in the Right to Monetize section. Quote, you grant to YouTube the right to monetize your content on the service, and such monetization may include displaying ads on or within content or charging users a fee for access. This agreement does not entitle you to any payments. So again, you can look at this article at your own time. I do have this in the description of my stream. In fact, just to kind of show you, let me go to my stream right now, just so you can see, because like I said, I'm not feeling particularly great right now, so sitting up is just kind of annoying. But because some people may have to ask the question like, "Ooh, how do I do this?" It is annoying, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So if you go to YouTube, I go to view my channel. So here's my stream right here. So let me click on my stream right now. So sitting up is just kind of annoying. Let me mute the volume so the volume doesn't reverb. So if you go here, right, you scroll all the way down, right? Here are the links right here. So you can look at this at your leisure if you so choose. I highly suggest you do. So go ahead and do that. And so let me exit out of that. And yeah, let me just go back to showing my Xbox. I just want to lay down because I'm just not feeling that good right now. Let me just add this back. All right. I think it's, let me see. Is it back? All right. Yeah, let me, yeah. So that's the long and the short of it, right there. And it's just it's a reality. Um, some people will say it's corporate greed. Some people will just look, regardless of what people want to call it, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It just doesn't matter. Uh, you as a consumer, as a creator, you have to understand the 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 game that they're playing. They are here to make money. They're not here to make friends. That's just the nature of the beast. And this is why you know, I'm very passionate about the things I am about, which is the gaming industry and talking about the agendas and such. But I am I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to business matters because I've spent a long time exposing myself to these type of situations, speaking to people that's in these type of worlds, understanding the jargon, understanding how to read in between lines, understanding when someone is answering a question without really answering the question. YouTube, quite frankly, they do not want the YouTube partner program. They don't. They want to get rid of it. If this was truly a symbiotic relationship, YouTube would be lowering the barrier to entry to become monetized on YouTube so that as you grow as a creator, so will YouTube. But the moment that they decided to come up with this new change back in 2020, where you are pretty much forced in a way, well, not forced, but you don't really have an option if you want to stay on YouTube to sign an agreement that specifies that YouTube is essentially going to be making money off of your content without giving you one red nickel. That told me everything I needed to know. Now, for a little bit of history as to why, or one of the reasons why YouTube decided on the 4,000 hours of watch time that they currently have right now is partly due to the dumb fuck that is named Logan Paul. Many years ago, Logan Paul, in his infinite wisdom, full sarcasm, decided to go to a Japanese forest that is well known around the world and on the internet of a location where many people have committed suicide. So Logan Paul was live streaming while walking through this particular forest and happened upon a dead body while live streaming. Logan Paul basically focused on the dead body on live stream. I think he even posed with the body. I don't know. He did. I didn't see it, but it was all over the fucking internet at that time. And that basically led to YouTube coming up with these ridiculous fucking requirements of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of public watch time just so that you can earn the little bit of scraps that you get from posting YouTube videos. So you can thank to a percentage Logan Paul for that. I've never forgotten that. And yeah. So I'm not the biggest Logan Paul fan when it comes to that. Now, whether or not YouTube would have done this before anyway, I don't know. But it definitely drove their decision. And so again, when I juxtapose that with the gaming industry, when it comes to digital sales, gamers, again, gamers have decided to buy the vast majority of their video games digitally off of a storefront online. And once these companies looked at the data and saw over the course of 10 years, from their perspective, why are we spending money on physical media when you look at the amount of total subscribers to Netflix? All you have to do, chat, is just open your Google or your Grok or whatever and type in how many current subscribers are there to Netflix, or add in, you can swap out Netflix for Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus, all of this. Do yourself a favor, do some research, and you will be astounded by what you learn. Because you will come to the understanding that many of these people that have these subscription services month after month after month, what do you think that means? What signal do you think that sends companies? I'll tell you, it signifies to the industry that consumers don't care about owning shit anymore. And companies will always go with what is trending, go with the majority. They don't care about the few tiny pockets of percentage of people that still buy their little discs. They don't give a shit. It is not enough to move the needle. You know, I had one guy, I have to bring this up. I had one guy that had the fucking nerve to go on my channel and very disrespectful. And I have since blocked him. Well, I don't think you can really block anybody on YouTube, but I shadow banned him because he was being a real asshole. And he basically was saying that he was trying to compare the anime world, that apparently anime buys discs at I guess a higher percentage than gaming. So his point of view was, if what you say, you being me, that physical media is dying, then explain anime. And I know that you are not intelligent enough to answer this question. That line that I read from his comment, I was going to let it go. But you know what I ended up doing? I gave him a very direct and detailed breakdown, bullet pointed, the differences between the anime side of business and the gamer side of business. And people that are not intellectually, or should I say not intellectually, they do not have the business acumen to understand that these are two different industries with two very different consumer bases. And again, two different metrics. I told this idiot before I shadow banned him, the anime crowd made up of diehards and people who like to collect shit, they keep the discs alive at a higher percentage than video game people do on the gaming front. I showed him articles, I gave him data, and his next comment to me, because I was waiting for his next comment, he said, I'm going to keep being disrespectful because people like you. And after that, I was like, fuck this asshole. He can go and talk in the shadow realm. or bitch and complain on somebody else's channel and talk shit about me, but it won't be done on my channel. I have no time. I have no more patience for people like that. Early on my channel, I let people rock. 2024, 2025, I let people 2026 and damn sure 27. Nah. But the whole point of this was to illustrate that there are people that will overestimate what they think they know, go into my channel, be it the comments or my stream, and try to pick these crusades, these wars with me, thinking that they actually are an equal to me in the understanding of this business. It's laughable to me. It's laughable to me when there is another individual that also, I haven't shadow banned him, but I'm thinking about it, but he's not overtly disrespectful, he's just more annoying, where he has some of the most horrific takes where all this guy keeps saying is that the video game industry is basically going to die. And I'm like, in my mind, does this guy not know that every single data point on the internet, every single analyst, every single expert projects by at least 2033 to 2032, the gaming industry as a whole is going to exponentially get larger. So whenever I see somebody go into my comment section or try to enter my stream chat and spew their bullshit, it makes me just, I'm just like, I have no more patience for these people. This is why largely I don't even bother with the chat most of the time, unless maybe I'm playing a video game. But if I'm trying, like, I'm here to dictate to you. I am here to tell you what the deal is, what is versus what is not the other way around. Because if you want to do that the other way around, you can just go and start your own YouTube channel. And I suggest you start fast, because come 2027 in February, you're going to have 8,000 hours of public watch time. So I understand everybody has their opinion. I understand everybody wants to feel they have a seat at the table. I understand that. I get it. But there is a difference when it comes to understanding this industry. There is a difference when understanding what is trending, what all the data analysis, all of the articles, everything that is showing and proving the direction where things are going versus trust me, bro. I don't deal in trust me, bro. I don't deal with it in fucking fitness as a certified personal trainer. I damn sure don't deal with it in the video game industry. I don't. Now, there are things such as an educated opinion. So, for instance, if you have something physically wrong with you, are you going to take the opinion of some random on the street that doesn't know jack shit about anything medical? Or are you going to take the opinion of a fucking doctor? If you're smart, I think you're going to take the educated opinion of the doctor. That's what this is. I have spent 20 plus years in this gaming industry learning shit, being a part of shit, researching shit. So I know what I'm talking about. So my educated opinion far surpasses the random trust me bros that might mash a few buttons and think that their opinion matters when, quite frankly, it really doesn't. There's levels to this. This is no different than if I were to try to give my opinion on boxing. Now, I used to bare knuckle street fight when I was much younger growing up. So I used to be in the streets fighting. I do train as a boxer in real life. But am I going to fucking mince words with somebody like Terrence Crawford? Am I going to fucking try to impose my opinions on somebody that actually gets in the ring and fights? No. I can make my suggestions. There's a difference there. You have to stay in your lane. And I think when it comes to the video game industry, I think there are too many people that feel that they just automatically have a seat at this table, and they fucking don't, because they have no idea what they're talking about. Any single person that wants to use a modicum of energy to do any sort of basic level research on Google, Bing, whatever web browser, go to Twitter, ask Grok, whatever AI you use, and just ask, what has been the total revenue of physical games sold in the last 10 years versus digital media by comparison? However way you want to frame it, you will get your answer. And that answer is the very data that many of these companies look at and make their decision by saying, you know what, we are no longer going to go the physical route. Period. Of course, you are always going to have that small percentage by comparison to the larger percentage that said, fuck ownership, we want digital. That small percentage of gamers, they're going to bitch and complain. And the grifter YouTubers out there, you know who they are. They are going to capitalize on that outrage all the way to the bank by you people giving them super chats and all manner of fan funding, because to you, that YouTuber is, it's like a solidarity. That YouTuber is, it's like, for you, this channel is saying what they're speaking for me. They know where I'm coming from. I want my physical games, damn it. They're speaking my language. I'm going to give them all that support. I'm going to give them that $50 super chat, even though they're making hundreds and thousands of dollars in ad revenue. It's fucking hilarious to me. These people literally, they take your outrage to the bank. Whereas people like me, all we try to do is tell you the facts. We tell you how the situation got to where it is. And you know what we get? We don't get shit. Not really. Aside from a very small percentage of our diehard fans, which for me, speaking for myself, is a very tiny, minute percentage. It is what it is. I keep it real. And the thing is, people don't, I believe that I don't want to believe that people want to be lied to. I'd like to have more hope in humanity, that there are people out there that appreciate when someone is telling them what it is versus what it's not. But I cannot deny what I see when I go into these other channels' live streams and you see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in their live streams getting super chat after $10, $20, $50, $2. You're seeing all of this support And I ask myself, what is this content creator really saying outside of pushing the outrage? Like, let me give you an example. Sony doesn't care about gamers. Sony doesn't care about pushing physical media. They've screwed you gamers. Well, why don't you fucking tell them your 50, your 100,000 subscriber audience? Why don't you actually tell them why Sony is doing what they're doing? Why don't you use your fucking platform and go to any goddamn article, any goddamn fucking data, and any relevant, legitimate analysis website whose very job, their very company is based on dealing with statistics? Go to any one of those websites and insert a search to see what is the total purchasing habits of the majority of gamers in the last 10 years. But you know what? They will not show you any of that shit, because that goes against their fucking bottom line. They want to whip you people up like a fucking hornet's nest, and they want to take your goddamn outrage to the fucking bank. Maybe I should just fucking do that. You know what? Maybe I should just do that, because it seems to be fucking working. Maybe I should try it for a month. Do the uncheck publish to subscribers so none of my subscribers actually see the videos, and just see what happens. Maybe I should. I don't fucking know. But it definitely goes against my core morality, so it will be difficult for me to do that. See, people like me that keep it real, people like me that actually shows you the data, shows you what the fucking story really is, we're very small. Very small. So that's why I feel that many people, I think they prefer the lie than the truth. I've told the truth many times. I've told the truth when it came to Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've told the truth about Dragon Age the Veilguard. I've told the truth about the $10 increase in Game Pass Ultimate. I told the truth about the PlayStation 5 Pro. Let's see. I've told the truth about what's the other one that's going on? The truth about God of War Laufe. I've told the truth about why Microsoft has been porting games on the PlayStation. I've told the fucking truth about each and every one of these things. And I have recently told the truth on why companies are moving away from physical media. And you know what I got for all of it? 50 views on videos and a YouTube channel that has stalled at 2,200 subscribers, where the vast majority of those subscribers literally don't do nothing on my channel, which is the reason why recently I put out a community post just to take inventory of who would see the community post and who would actually comment. And so I want to take this opportunity real quick to shout out each and every one of you that has actually engaged with that community post that I left in relation to the amount of total subscribers I have, which I believe is 2,265 last I checked. Only, as I expected, a very tiny percentage of you engaged, but the amount wasn't relevant. What was relevant to me was just to see who would. That's what was relevant. So I appreciate that. I appreciate those of you that do engage. I appreciate those of you that do support me as channel members, because that little $2 a month that you guys spend, about 2 or 3 of you have spent $10 a month. about 5 or 7 of you did it the $5 a month. It may not be much because let's face it, that's very little money over the course of a month. I mean, let's be honest, especially if you're gainfully employed. But that little bit of money goes a long way to a small, tiny creator like myself and my peers that's on YouTube that have just become monetized, because that makes us reaching our quota to get our little YouTube payment every month that much easier, because we bust our fucking ass in doing so. We are not Asmongold. We are not Penguin Zero. We're not Maximilian Dude. We're not fucking Justin Wong. We're not any of these larger content. We're not these content creators that have it easy, that have teams of people working on their behalf doing shit. We ain't got it like that. So I appreciate those few people that do support. And I'm speaking on behalf of my peers that are in a similar channel size. So I salute to those people out there. I honestly don't know where else to take this stream right now. I really don't, because I think I've said everything that needed to be said. Right, like I said, I'm not feeling my best. I'm a little bit under the weather. Sore throat a little bit, weak physically, body temperature is high. So I'm not really feeling my best, but I felt like going live and just yapping, sharing a bit of frustration. Wanted to kind of just share my thoughts and educate people on what's going on with YouTube in relation to the gaming industry as it pertains to physical media. I wanted to do that. I think I've done that. So I wanted to just take this quick moment, real quick, just to talk about the Twitch. I do have about 97 followers over on Twitch, but much like my many subscribers on YouTube, many of the followers on my Twitch, they don't really engage, you know, and that's fine, I guess. There's maybe 2 or 3 people that do. Shout outs to them. But the last couple of days, I have been going live on Twitch very late, trying to fiddle with my OBS settings in an attempt to try to get my stream to be as clear as possible. When you are working with a very limited laptop that I'm working with, and doing a bunch of Google searches, I've used Reddit. Reddit apparently has an AI that you can ask questions to. I've gone on Twitter. I've asked Grok, where I've inputted my my internet speed, all of the details. I've added my about this PC, the specifications of my laptop, and I've gotten data that basically states that with me having a 35 gigabyte plus, when I say plus, about 35 to 37 gigabyte upload, that's exceptional for live streaming. You know, I have very low latency when it comes to my internet, as well as understanding that I do have 16 gigabytes of RAM on my laptop, but apparently I have an AMD processor, which is kind of old. And every bit of data that I have seen points that my laptop, the bottleneck is my graphic processor, whereas something like NVIDIA, some of the higher grade graphic processors handle streaming far better. So I had to really dial into my OBS settings. And it was very annoying. It was a lot of going back and forth, going live, looking at the, like, you name it, I've done it. And so I've settled on 720p, 60 frames per second, constant bit rate of currently 5,000 kilobytes per second, whereas Twitch goes up recommended 6,000. You can push it. Apparently, from what I understand, Twitch does have a hard ceiling, which is 8,500. I'm told that if you do go that level, Twitch will shut off your stream. That's what I've heard. So I stream at 5,000. The preset I believe is main, and the profile is balanced, and that's what it is. So those are the settings that I'm running with. I did post a video to my YouTube channel today where I did a little bit of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and toward the end, I do have it chaptered, Gears of War E-Day. So the quality isn't the fucking best. I'm not a YouTube partner. I'm not a Twitch partner. I don't have a monster desktop. I don't have a monster laptop. So, you know, maybe one day I'll be able to afford something like that. But, you know, I think with what I have, I don't think that there's anything more I can do settings wise at this point. So where my stream is on Twitch is basically probably the best quality I am capable of having with my current laptop that I have. So that's where it's at right there. I appreciate the subscription. I can't even see it from here. Hold on. What is that? M&J Metal. I appreciate that, bro. But yeah, so, you know, because I'm just getting tired of just dealing with drama when it comes to any sort of drama. However, my love and passion of the gaming industry, I can't help but call out certain agendas. And you know, because there are far too many activists that pose as game developers that are systematically ruining our gaming IPs. But I don't know if I really want to go in depth on that right here, right now. I don't know, but that's just something I'm very strong about. You know, but I do appreciate everybody that does support me in their own way. And like I said, you know, I'm well aware that people, you know, they support however way they can. Some people can support financially, right? I'm very fortunate to have channel members, and I can tell you, when you are a very small creator like I am, channel members, those are the people, and I really want I want this to be understood seriously. When you are a content creator, channel members are like gold, because even if somebody is a member at the lowest amount of money, like for me, it's like $2. That is $2 that person does not have to spend. They don't have to give you shit. They don't have to do anything. So the fact that you have a few people that they go above and beyond everybody else, that speaks volumes. And honestly, I'll be perfectly real. That does kind of help keep me going. I'll be, because I've said many times that I have a lot of dead subscribers on my channel. Like I said, I'm at what, 2265, 2000, right? 2000 subs. And I can look at my analytics, you know, and the vast majority of them don't do anything. They don't engage, and that greatly does affect your CTR, your click-through rate on YouTube, and it does hamstring your videos for getting pushed by the algorithm so that you can have new people. It's the truth. So So the thing is, it is frustrating, and you just try to do the best you can, but sometimes you get so frustrated and you feel like, what's the fucking point? What's the point? And that's why there are many times, I'll be honest, where this is going to sound wild, but I literally sometimes just feel like just publishing videos only to my channel members. That's literally how I feel. I feel like when I publish to subscriber feed, the video goes nowhere. It fucking just goes nowhere. Sure, to be clear, I do have a few subscribers that are active, and some of you are in this stream chat. Some of you are present. But you have to look at it from my perspective. And if you choose not to, that's fine. But from my perspective, I have, listen to this, I have 2,265 subscribers. And I'm just going to say at least 87 to 90% do fuck all for my videos. Let that sink in. So, do you really think I feel like putting in hours of editing, coming up with this fucking grandiose thumbnail just to get, what, 7% of my subscriber base to do anything? Not really. Not really. I'm be honest. I'm be dead ass with you. I'm gonna be dead ass. And you won't understand this unless you are a creator yourself. Unless you are a creator and you're taking this seriously as I have, you won't understand the frustration that goes on. What's up, everybody? I just want, so you won't really understand. It is very daunting. It is frustrating. It does play with you psychologically. And so, because at least when you put a video out for your channel members, it doesn't mean that your channel members are going to watch every single video. Fuck no. It doesn't mean that. But there's a higher percentage that will. And also, as a channel member, when you do post a video, they will be notified, at least to my understanding. It's like a different notification process. Whereas if you are posting a video to YouTube, and let's just say a subscriber doesn't have like that bell notification or some shit like that, if they ain't got that on, not a lot of times they're not even gonna be fucking they're not gonna be notified. You know what I'm saying? So, and then a lot of times people don't know this. When you publish a video, in the upload, when you publish it, if you upload that video into a playlist, your subscribers will not be notified of this. Like there's a lot that people, even creators, don't understand. When you publish a new video and you send it directly into your playlist, your audience is not notified. So if you are doing like a let's play of like, I don't know, Crimson Desert, and you have Let's Play 1, Let's Play 2, Let's Play 3, and it goes directly to the playlist, that audience is not being notified. I had to learn that the hard way. The only way they're going to get notified is if you publish the video as a standalone video and then add it to the playlist at a later time. Or you take the playlist, the total playlist, and also you can create a community post and post your playlist. There's a lot, like I said, I do a lot of research, and I wanted to understand how things work. And there's a lot of things that people don't know. Like, for instance, if you upload a video privately and then you switch it to public, you will not be giving any notifications. There's so much that goes into this. And all I want to try to do is I try to pass on information. I try to be as forthcoming to people that chooses to give me their time of day. Because if I'm going to be an authority figure and I'm going to be dictating to people in my chat, in my videos, the least I can do is know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's the least I can do. And that's what I have an issue with other content creators that have like fucking bajillion amount of subs. They are talking about shit. They have no idea what they're talking about. It's all outrage. It's all grifting. It's just bullshit. It's just drama. It's Jerry Springer 2.0. No substance, no nothing. This is why when I said, when people are fucking talking about this whole digital age and all that stuff, like many of these content creators, and if they exist, I haven't come across them yet, but I'm on YouTube literally every fucking day for hours. So I come across hundreds of channels in a span of a 7-day work week. So I'm tapped in. And most of these channels, they're pulling shit out of their ass. Literally. And they're being fucking funded, supported, praised. It's sickening. It's very few people out there that will give you the how and the why. Like, one thing I remember I was talking about a long time ago was the cancellation of a game called Scalebound many years ago. It was a very popular game set to come out for Xbox. And with that cancellation, the vast majority of the internet gaming world were throwing Microsoft and Phil Spencer specifically under the bus, like it's his fault. Microsoft hates games. They hate this, they're that, blah, blah, blah. And when I did a little digging and learned that Platinum Games, for a third-person action game, which was very mid, very rudimentary, took almost 8 years to create this game and canceled repeatedly when Microsoft wanted the game to be showcased at various game shows and gaming events to promote the game. And Platinum Games, the ones that were the lead developers on the game, asking Phil Spencer and Mike and Xbox more money to fund the project, but yet and still never showing any fucking real progress. And then 1 year when they did show something, it was a buggy mess. It was a disgrace. It looked like shit, ran like shit. And finally, Phil Spencer was like, look, enough is enough. But nobody talks about that. All I ever saw people fucking bring up is it's Microsoft's fault. That is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Because something like that happens even right now. Nobody really does any research. They don't cross-reference anything. They don't corroborate sources. They don't do shit. They take the highlight from a gaming outlet. They take the sensationalist title. A content creator will use that article as subjective proof despite the fact that the article itself either has a bias against the game developer or the manufacturer, or doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, so it becomes a blind leading the blind scenario. And then by the time you, as the viewer, gets this information, you take that as fact. And then when someone like me comes along that knows what the fuck he's talking about and is showing you the actual proof and what's really happening, many of you go into my streams, into my comment section, and try to fight me on my platform, claiming that I don't know what I'm talking about, and the cycle continues. That is what goes on in the gaming space, and I see it every fucking day. Every day. And it's tiresome. Because it kind of makes you think that there is a very small percentage of people that actually care about the truth. That's what it feels like. It feels like many people, they are just willing to, if you have 50,000 subscribers, your word is law. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it is. It's insane to me. But I understand that some of you in the stream, I understand and I appreciate you guys. You're weighing in and whatnot. Some of you understand it, some of you don't. It is what it is. A lot of times I don't blame the viewer. I don't blame the viewer per se. I blame the creator. As a content creator, especially when you are a large creator, you owe it to your audience to be as fact-driven as possible when you are a news creator. Now, if you're just playing the game, if you're more of like a patch notes, game update creator, that's different. But when you're reporting on the actual news, you owe it to your audience to be as accurate as you can be. Nobody is perfect. I understand that. But I just believe, and maybe I'm just of the minority here, I believe that you just owe it to your audience to do that. Because there are many people that will base their decision on what you say. It's a reality. There are many viewers, they will literally take the word of their favorite streamer, of their favorite YouTuber over anything. Oh, this game is great. This game sucks. Well, what if you just have a direct bias against the game and you just hate the game in general? Is that really a fair take? No. I'll give you an example. As a 40-year gamer, I'm 45 years old. I am not the most avid racing game player. I am not a gamer that plays real-time strategy, like Civilization and those types of games. I've never been a gamer that plays those types of games. So for me to give my opinion on those sorts of games, I try to be very careful because I have to judge the game on its merit. I can't judge the game on my bias against the genre as a whole. Some gamers, they don't like JRPGs. Some gamers don't like role-playing games. Some gamers don't like FPS. So if you take a gamer that doesn't like first-person shooters and they are reviewing a first-person game, what do you think is going to happen? in many cases, not all. So now I haven't gotten too deep into reviewing games. That is a world I believe I will excel in, because I am able to compartmentalize my personal feelings away from what I am seeing, what the game offers. Not many people can do that. That is an actual skill. So I'll give you an example here. If we talk about Halo Campaign Evolved, right? If we talk about Halo Campaign Evolved, if somebody were to ask me directly, what do you think of this game? I will say it depends if you are the person that have played OG Halo 20 plus years ago versus somebody that has played never played Halo in your life. There are two different trains of thought. From a graphical standpoint, the game looks phenomenal. It is built up within Unreal Engine 5. Behind the scenes, there are people that were contracted by 343 Studios or Halo Studios and Microsoft to do the bulk of the work for this game. They were subsequently, unfortunately, laid off, but they were contractors. So from an employment morale standpoint, that might affect your purchasing. It might, just to put that out there. The music, very good. The frame rate, personally speaking, I'm on an Xbox Series X. I've had no performance issues for me. Graphically, again, the game is great. However, there are certain animations that are missing. They have gone viral online when it comes to you being in the warthog, where going from the driver's seat to the turret. Before, in the older Halo, you would actually have an animation of Master Chief getting out and actually traveling to that new seat. Whereas in this game, for reasons unknown, you do a Goku instant transmission. That may or may not affect you, but just to kind of see, what I'm basically trying to say here is, I believe if you are going to review a game, your responsibility to the viewer is to give the general facts. Your personal bias against the game, you can have it, but you have to be clear that this is what you personally think. You have to be very clear on that. For instance, they changed the look of Cortana. Personally speaking, I don't like it. I believe it's a net negative. There was no real reason for them to make this character look like a tranny, in my opinion. But just to let you know, that is a change, especially if you are coming from older Halo games. Another change is one of the additions of this game, which is one of the selling points, which are the 3 prequel missions, given the fact that this game, just to let you know, does not have a dedicated multiplayer. So if you are coming into this experience hoping for a multiplayer aspect, sadly, they do not have that. So if that is a make or break it for you, you might want to reevaluate your purchasing. However, if that doesn't matter to you, also know that they do have 3 additional missions that take place before the main campaign of this game. However, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding those missions when it comes to a very mannish, lesbian-looking female character that spends a good percentage of time berating and just not being very respectful to Master Chief. So if you don't have a problem with that, that's fine. But I am letting you know that is what is in this game. So if you can understand what I'm doing here, I'm letting you, the viewer, know what is in the game. I'm letting you know that I personally, as a content creator, this is what I feel about it, but I'm not leveraging it to get you to not buy it yourself. I am merely telling you what is available, what is not available, what I like versus what I don't like, but it should not have a bearing on you. Now, if there is certain game-breaking issues where I've had several moments where the game crashed, there were certain save issues where there were times I saved the game didn't save, my data got corrupted, or there were significant performance issues, even in performance mode, where performance mode is supposed to be 60 frames per second, but I've seen drops of perceivably about maybe to 40, maybe 50 frames per second. So it's up to me to let you know that. And I would make the recommendation and say, with all of that in mind, my personal opinion is to hold off on you purchasing this game, give it some time, wait and see if Microsoft and Halo Studios puts out a patch to correct these issues. These are the type of ways I prefer people review games. That's what I would like to see. Now, there are some that do that. There are others that don't. So that's my approach. Maybe it's boring for some, maybe it's not. It depends on the person. But I feel you as a creator, if you're talking about the news, you have a responsibility to your audience. If you are a larger creator and you are talking about video games and services where you have legitimate influence, it is, again, your responsibility to be as transparent with your audience. Because I feel as a creator, you should give them that respect. That's just my thoughts on that. But let me look at something here. Wow. I actually got a $5 donation and a subscription from a gentleman by the name of Jax82. I think Jax82-V80. He says, watch a lot of your videos, really good stuff. Don't hear enough of it. Well, Mr. Jax, I'm sorry that you don't hear enough of it. Could be your algorithm, but it also can be that, I don't think that this is very popular. It's not a popular stance. I think a lot of times people, they want to just go with sensationalist reporting. They want to bullshit. They want to be drama based. And I guess for them, it might work for them. But when it comes to, like, telling the truth and being, be more fact driven, I think many people, they don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is, But again, I definitely I appreciate you guys being here. I'm kind of scrolling through the chat here for a bit now that I'm kind of sitting up. I see Shogun asked me if I played a sword with sauce. No, I never even heard that. Sounds like a troll game. Never heard of it. And if it is, it's not on Xbox, because I would have probably seen it. As far as I'm concerned, the best stealth experience I have, and it is basically Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's basically it. I've spoken on that game so many times, and like I said about the how people report on the game, You know, a lot of times people can't get over the controversy surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I understand. I'm not a fan of the mental illness, DEI, woke. I'm not a fan of that shit. However, I'm able to strip that away, and I am able to kind of accept the game on its own merit, graphically, physics wise, everything. And AC Shadows is the greatest shinobi game that you can play right now. There is no other game that comes close. No other game. And I mean that. No other game. If you want a game that gives you that true stealth assassin shinobi experience, this right here, that's what you go and play. That's it. Now, is it the only game out there? No. You have this game right here. This is also one of the better ninja stealth games out there. Unfortunately, the company, the studio, Lintz Works, they've gone out of business, unfortunately. So there is no more, unless somebody buys the IP, we won't see an Origami 3, which unfortunately, this game had a very unique take on this third-person shinobi stealth genre. You can create your own character. You use the literal shadows to warp around the map. The combat was greatly enhanced from Origami 1, because in Origami 1, if the enemy spotted you, that was the end of the game. Basically, I think one hit, they kill you. Origami 2, they added more combat. But you have this game. You also have, let me see, if you really want a godlike shinobi experience, I'll show you right now. This, where is it? Hold on, let me go to my full library. Own games. This game is good too, but not so much shinobi, but it's a very good third-person kind of like acrobatic shooter. So this is also a very good game as well to kind of give it a shot. Cyberpunk inspired, very low gigabytes, came out 2024, but that's pretty cool. I just wanted to highlight that. But getting back to the shinobi aspect, this game, where is it at? I think it's under Xbox One. Where is it? Bingo. This right here. This right here. If you want, now this is a 2-dimensional, and as you can see, it's on sale for $5 fucking. This game, 100% is well worth $20, but it's worth $5 even more. So just go buy this shit if you want a fucking ninja experience. In fact, let me see if the trailer will even play, because sometimes I have trouble with the trailers playing. So let's see if it'll play.
Peggy 16.
I'm actually surprised it played, because sometimes I'll be having like issues with my my playback on Xbox. But anyway, this game is one of the greatest shinobi games that you will play right now. And as I showed, it's literally $5. I don't know what it is on PlayStation, but on Xbox currently $5 for the next 7 hours. But normally it's 20, but I will even say it's worth every fucking dollar. Every dollar. So that's another example of a great shinobi-based game. This one also is very good, but it's more tactical based. Shadow Tactics. This is another great game if you really want to give this a shot. But it does require a lot of effort on behalf of the player to understand the actual genre that this is. So it's a little bit different than what you're used to.
Time to move.
What was that? Huh?
On the move. Keep your head ready.
And you have different characters as well.
Such a fine view.
So this game right here is another game that is very stealth centric. Obviously it's not as action driven, but it's still a very good, strong game if you're looking for something that's more stealth based. But I do appreciate that something like this exists. I do own the game. I'm a bit out. Actually, no, I'm out of practice in playing this game because I've been focusing so much on AC Shadows and other games. But if you are into tactical gameplay with a mix of stealth and being in that feudal Japan era, this is a game for you. Now of course, you know, I can mention games like Ninja Gaiden. I mean, yeah, Ryu Hayabusa is a ninja by trade. However, if you really look at it, Ninja Gaiden is more of a hack and slash action game. But there really isn't an emphasis on stealth. So that's why the games I basically show, which is this game here, this game right here, Origami 2. That's another amazing experience. This game right here. Of course, AC Shadows. As far as I'm concerned, that's like the best I've played yet. Because I'm able to kind of eliminate the noise of the controversy surrounding the game, even though there's a lot of it. But if I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadows to play as Naue, the shinobi, and when you really dial in, lock in to her as a character and what she can do, embrace the stealth, the parkour, the different weapons, it is quite frankly the greatest shinobi experience, gameplay wise, you will fucking have. Now, sure, you might have an issue with the story itself. I'm not talking about the story. I'm just talking about running around in an open world environment as a legitimate shinobi. Assassin's Creed Shadows, there is nothing fucking with that in current day. Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. I've played these types of games for fucking decades, so I know what I'm talking about. Because a lot of times when I watch people stream this game, here's something else I notice. I notice a lot of people who play this game and I watch their stream, they play this game like absolute shit. It's actually hard for me to watch their playthrough. It is. They're playing this game like it's fucking Ninja Gaiden. Like, there's no finesse, there's no stealth. They don't have a firm understanding of the combat. They don't use the posture system. They don't really use the items. They don't know, like, it's just they're mashing buttons. So when you have a larger streamer that's playing like that, you as a viewer think, oh, this game sucks. This game sucks. Yeah. Look how they're playing the game. Look at how they're playing the game. So, a lot of that does matter. I've seen many Twitch streamers or streamers in general, they absolutely suck at playing games. They're trash, or maybe they're just good at playing Call of Duty, and now they're playing something that requires more of a brain, and they fail. But because that streamer has fucking 10,000 plus followers on Twitch, you think the way they're playing the game is indicative of what the game really is. And I'm here to say it is not. So now if we want to talk about the woke elements and, that's its own discussion. You want to talk about the actual story, that's its own discussion. We could talk about that too. I understand the issues, and believe me, I've raised those concerns myself many times. But if we're just talking solely based on ninjutsu, shinobi type warfare, Assassin's Creed Shadows nails that shit like no other game. No other game. Now, if you want more of a samurai experience, then you go and play your Ghost of Tsushima, your Ghost of Yote, and all that other stuff. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're more samurai than shinobi. I've watched many people play those games because I don't have a PlayStation. And what I see is a samurai, or rather a ronin, because Gen Sakai, for instance, he's not serving a samurai lord. He's not serving a shogun. So basically he would fall under the category of a ronin, a samurai without a lord. Sure, you can like crouch and you can do some assassination stuff. I've seen that gameplay. I've seen it. I acknowledge it. But let's be honest, at the core, it's more Bushido samurai combat driven. Nothing wrong with that. It's a great game. If I had a PlayStation, it would be one of the first games I'd buy. But let's not bullshit ourselves. If we're talking strictly shinobi, assassination, stealth, get in undetected, parkour, ninjutsu tools, Naoe in Assassin's Creed Shadows, that's where you're at. Now, if you want to say overall, Ghosts of Tsushima, Ghosts of Yote is a better game, then fine. I'm not gonna really give much pushback about that. It's like whatever. But if we're talking shinobi tactics alone, nah, bro. Nope. Nah. Can't go along with you on that, Chief. Can't do it. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Can't do it. And this is the reason why I'm so pissed off with Ubisoft with the way they handled this game, because Assassin's Creed Shadows should have 100% been a fucking layup, Game of the Year contender, and all of that. But Ubisoft being Ubisoft, they had to do their bullshit, and they shot themselves in the foot. If Assassin's Creed Shadows featured a male and female shinobi, Naoe being from Iga, and those who may not even understand shinobi culture, the Iga ninja clan was an actual real life ninja clan. Their opposite was another clan called the Koga Ninja. If Assassin's Creed Shadows had the male protagonist shinobi from Koga, and his story arc was regaining his honor for betraying the Iga ninja to Oda Nobunaga, that story would have been fucking godlike. But instead, they wanted to DEI it, put the black dude in as a samurai that nobody gave two shits about, that a white guy with a book that wanted to sell more copies that stated, oh, we have the black samurai, which many Japanese historians are not sold on. So you already have a bunch of controversy for no fucking reason. If nothing else, they should have put that character Yasuke as DLC a year after this game came out, and it would have done good business. But originally, they should have done Naoe from Iga, an unnamed male shinobi that represents the Koga Ninja clan, because even though they're both shinobi, Iga and Koga, like a lion and a tiger, they're both cats, but they have different strengths and weaknesses. So the Koga ninja could have had different weapons, different tactics in relation to the Iga ninja Naoe. If they would have did that, I can guarantee you we would still have DLC coming out for Assassin's Creed Shadows right now. You would not fucking have Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced right now, because they would still be fucking playing this game. But Ubisoft fucked up. It pisses me off to this day, and I'll never get over it. I'll keep playing the game. I have over 100 hours. Like, look at this shit. I have literally 104 fucking hours in this game. And you know the funny thing is, I barely have even moved the story. I don't even have Yasuke unlocked. So I have 104 hours and 10 minutes in this game, and I still don't even have Yasuke unlocked. Think about that. Think about that. So I love this game when it comes to being a fucking ninja. That's what it comes down to. And it is my favorite fucking game. Out of all of the games I have, these are all the games that I currently have installed on my hard drive right now. In fact, I could probably get rid of this because I think the beta is over. So I can probably just uninstall that and save me some hard drive space. But yeah, all of these games I can play off my hard drive. But if we're looking at full library, these are all the games I own. I own hundreds of games, digitally and physically. I haven't even gotten to this game yet. I actually own this. I'm thinking about playing this on stream, you know? And you know, so but I have to be honest. AC Shadows right now is my favorite fucking game. It is. I cannot deny that. And I have a who's who of games. I literally have every game that is worth playing in today's time. If I don't have it physically, I have it digitally. So it just speaks volumes on my love of the shinobi culture, of just being in an open world, a graphically impressive game, being a shinobi. Well, actually, if we really want to be accurate, there is no such thing as a female shinobi. They were called Kunoichi. Don't ask me how to spell it, but I believe that's how it's pronounced. And based on history, females that practiced that particular style of combat, they were not like how the males are in the traditional shinobi sense. The females operated more like spies, and they were able to infiltrate places, pose as like maids, prostitutes, to get close to their target and eliminate them, because they were able to do things that the male could not. Also, females traditionally, biologically, are smaller than men. So the females were able to fit into places that the male shinobi could not. You know, so these are all just researched facts in the culture. But just to make it easy, we just associate the female shinobi by the same token as the male. But just for clarification, in that culture, the female versions of that were known as Kunoichi. In fact, if you go over to, I think they even mention it in Dead or Alive, because Kasumi, Ayame, or Ayane, they're both Kunoichi. They're both female ninja. I think they, let me see. I don't know if it's mentioned here at all. Probably not. I think it's mentioned in her bio. I believe so. But yeah, it wouldn't be here. So I was kind of thinking something else. I would have to be in the game. But yeah, if you, I believe if you look in the profile of Kasumi, you know, I think even Momoji, they're classified as Kunoichi, female shinobi. So anyway, I just felt like sharing that bit of history or whatever. But yeah, I am aware, of course, of some other obscure shinobi-based games. I think there was a subscriber that I have that mentioned a particular game that I actually never heard of before, but apparently it was made by the creators of Tenchu Stealth Assassins. I forgot what the name of it was, but it's definitely not on Xbox. It's probably a Steam or a PlayStation only game. So that's also another reason why I never heard of it, because if it was on Xbox, I would fucking own it. You know, but you know, it is what it is. But presently, right now, there is no other shinobi game that comes close in scope to Assassin's Creed Shadows. So that might rub some people the wrong way, but I'm calling it like I see it. I see Hector said if I played Misfit Hunter. Misfit Hunter? Is that the fucking game that just came out? I think I did. It's like an extraction melee game. I did play it. Mist Hunter or some shit like that. Let me look at my game. It's on Game Pass. I think this is the game he's talking about. Right. Recently added Mistfall. Yeah, I played that. I played that. In fact, I think I have a video. I don't know if I have to check if I listed it or not. I'm not too sure, but I have a video where I did mess around with the game. I can't do PC gaming. My laptop is not powerful enough to run PC games in a viable way. So that's why I don't do PC stuff. The Yasuke character, the thing is, the Yasuke character, let me just be clear with this. The only thing, hold on. The only thing that is verifiably accurate about the Yasuke character is that he was black, he existed in the Edo period of feudal Japan, and that he was brought over as a slave by Jesuit Portuguese priests. That is all. Everything else is subject to an argument. There are people that feel he was a retainer. There are some that feel he was a samurai. There is so much that is shrouded in myth and legend and uncertainty with that character that it was the wrong decision for Ubisoft to not only force this character into this game, but to also position him like he is 100% a legitimate samurai. A lot of Japanese people took great offense to this, as well as many Japanese historians, because the majority of people that were pushing this was a white man by the name of Thomas Lockley, who created a book talking about the Yasuke character. And it was confirmed that he and his team were altering Wikipedias to make it appear that this character was a legitimate character, although that was not the case in terms of his profession, because many people were very split. And so because of that underhandedness and that shadiness, it got so significant that the Japanese prime minister was threatening to ban the game from even being sold in Japan. A lot of people don't know these facts. So, you know, but that's what I'm here for, right? Let me see. I have played Saints Row. I played some of the older games. It's a shame that Volition failed the franchise the way they did, but it is what it is. But anyway, like I said, I'm actually not feeling very well. I actually feel like I got to use the bathroom, and I will say it's not going to be pretty. I think the medicine kind of been running through me, so I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to take some medicine, get some rest. I might stream something on Twitch just to mash some buttons. But anyway, this stream kind of went all over the place. But the original intent was to detail the situation with YouTube. Then I got on with the gaming industry. So I appreciate you guys, tuning in. I've been live for over 2 hours. So I'm going to get some medicine. I'm going to rest and just kind of enjoy the rest of my night. Again, I might hop on Twitch later on, maybe, but that's just to play some games. But anyway, salute to you guys that supported, subscribed, donated, all that good stuff. I appreciate that. I do have some ginger. I have some elderberry syrup. The only thing I wish I had that I don't, but I ain't got the money for it, is oregano oil. So I don't have that, but I'd have honey. I got well, actually, I have to go out and get ginger, but that's fine. I'll probably just take maybe a tablespoon of elderberry, and I'll pick up some ginger and garlic tomorrow. I'll boil that down into a tea. Basically, it's a concoction of chopped garlic, chopped ginger. I brew it. It becomes a tea. Pour it in a mug. Add some Manuka honey, a squeeze of lemon, 1 to 2 tablespoons of elderberry syrup, and stir, mix, drink, and repeat. So that's my concoction. But yeah, so that's basically what's what. But yeah, I'm yeah, because I feel weak physically, which is not a good sign. My body temperature is elevated, so I can, even though it's hot in my room, but I can definitely feel it's not a hot from the outside temperature. My body temperature is rising. It's a little bit difficult to sit up for too long a time. My sore throat has gotten a little bit better. It's not as raspy. So yeah, hopefully I'm through the worst of it, but I still wanted to go live 2 hours ago and talk about this whole YouTube situation. So those of you that were here from the beginning for that, I appreciate that, because that was really the main focal point. And then somehow I got back on the whole digital game thing because it does correlate on some levels. And so yeah, so that's so yeah. I have heard of Star Anise. I heard about that. Believe me, I've heard of a lot of these things. Because yeah, not only am I a certified personal trainer, but I'm also was studying to be a nutritionist. So I am well aware of a lot of the home remedies and such. So I appreciate you guys sharing that, even though I may know it, but there might be some people that don't know. So I appreciate the sharing of the information still. Because I can look at my forehead and I'm like sweating buckets right now. So so yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your night doing whatever you guys got going on. Again, I did make a portion where I was talking about my Twitch OBS settings on where I feel in relation to how my hard drive, well, not my hard drive, my hardware is. So I can't eliminate ghosting and artifacts from my games entirely while I'm live streaming. My computer just isn't powerful enough for that. But I have set it up so that it looks good enough, I would say. And I guess that's about it. So anyway, I appreciate you guys, and let me get up out of here. I'm probably gonna take a shower, get some meds, use the bathroom, and yeah, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. So let me get up out of here. Take care.